I'm Isabel Goodrich.
I'm Allison Ferreira.
I'm Nicole Arteezy.
And I'm Brett Rivera. On today's segment of GIN Global Impact News, we'll be discussing the events that occurred during the time period of 1750 to the 1900s.
The events that occurred during this time period, such as nationalism, imperialism, the scramble for Africa, the Meiji Restoration, the Opium War, and the Taiping Rebellion, had many positive and negative effects on the world and the future generations to come.
Let's take a look at the idea of nationalism.
Nationalism portrays the idea that people should be loyal to their nation. They share culture, religion, language, history, territory, and nationality. Nationalism can also unite or destroy a nation.
Positives of nationalism consist of people in a nation overcoming differences and improving upon science and technology. Negatives of nationalism were forced assimilation, ethnic cleansing, and competition of warfare between nations.
Great Britain took over India for their land and resources, population, location for sea trade, and spices. This was considered regionalism, and they did show tolerance for India at first.
When Great Britain took too much control and had too much power over India, they got mad and wanted to rebel. The Sepoys, or Indian soldiers, started the Sepoy Mutiny to gain back their own power for their country. They worked together and showed nationalism through this.
Imperialism deals with the policy of extending a nation's political and economic control over a territory or nation.
The age of imperialism was when European nations and Japan conquered vast empires.
Many nations used certain methods to manage conquered land. Colonialism was when a country was governed internally by foreign powers. The sphere of influence was when an area in which outside powers claimed economic control in an area of a country. Protectorate is when a country with its own internal government is under control of an outside power.
The scramble for Africa was a race for the African land, and European nations moved into Africa wanting riches, raw materials, natural resources, and markets. The Berlin Conference took place in 1848 when nations got together to discuss how to divide Africa's land among themselves. Europeans came in and tried to force a new religion on the Africans as well. You can notice how Africa was divided among the nations in the picture.
The Meiji Restoration took place from 1850 to 1900. It was a new power balance where Japan joined the great powers and transformed into a major industrial and military power. This was the birth of Japanese imperialism.
Japan was falling behind in the industrial world because they refused to modernize. But when the United States forced them to open up their ports, Japan realized that their isolation was harming them and they needed to improve and modernize their area.
China believed Great Britain was inferior and they disliked them because they had better privileges granted by the government, such as tax breaks, living conditions, jobs, and food.
Great Britain sold opium to make up for their trade deficit when they bought more than they sold.
The Qing dynasty banned opium, which started a war since Great Britain was selling to them. Great Britain knew that they could beat China in a war even though China believed they were superior. Great Britain won the war as expected. This resulted in the Treaty of Nanking.
The Taiping Rebellion was within the Qing dynasty and was caused by social unhappiness and foreign intrusion.
It was the world's bloodiest civil war lasting from 1850 to 1864. It left 20 million people dead.
The Crimean War occurred when Russia wanted control over Eastern Orthodox Christians.
Russia was a backwards empire. The war was fought from October 1853 to March 1856.
The alliance of France, Great Britain, the Ottoman Empire, and Sardinia won the war. Our edition of GIN. Clearly, the events that took place during the time period of 1750 through to the 1900s had a high impact and affected many areas of the world.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
GIN!
I'm Brett Rivera.
On today.
That time it wasn't me!
Look, we did not
Okay.
Okay. Me.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Good morning, I'm Isabel Goodrich.
I'm Allison Ferreira.
I'm Brett Rivera.
And I'm Nicole Arteezy.
On today's like what?
Because yeah,
Japanese imperialism.
Japan must fall. You said speak louder.
They sold opium to make up for their trade
Deficit. And they dislike them because they're this is not my fault, this is your fault!
The Taiping Rebellion. I've been tickled. Stop!
That
And
concludes-
we're out.
Brett, what's up, guys? It's your boy Brett.
Brett, you
Oh, it's a video. Wait, go. You just.